What a great play. Every week it seems like another circus moment for the Lions. Great catch, Sam. And then Hart. Awesome play. Another one. Lions dominate in Dallas but lose their heart and soul in the process. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Johnny Gaz. Thank you for returning for another video. The Lions absolutely decimate the Dallas Cowboys on this game of the week here in week 6, 47-9. Lions offense is rolling. Jared Goff, the running game, the offensive line, everything absolutely working in Dallas on this Sunday. The unfortunate part of this victory is that it is completely marred by the unfortunate injury to Aidan Hutchinson, who has now been confirmed a broken tibia that did require immediate surgery. He will stay in Dallas for, I believe, the next several days as he recovers from surgery. It is such an unfortunate injury for this Lions team. This video will not focus on the outcome of the injury. We will do several segments here over the next week that will cover the injury in detail, and we'll talk about how the Lions will come out of it. Let's focus on today's game, which again was an impressive showing offensively and defensively for the Lions in a 47-9 rout of the Dallas Cowboys. Before we go any farther, make sure to like the video if you dig the vibe here at Johnny Gaz Sports. I'd love it if you consider subscribing to the channel. We've just gotten over 2,000 thanks to you guys. And if you hit the notify bell, it's the best way to make sure you don't miss any future videos. There is a membership option available where I do my live game play-by-play reactions, tier list, and a ton of other fun content. But there is always free stuff for you here all the time. Thank you guys for coming along for the ride. Let's get into this dominating performance in Dallas. The Lions absolutely decimate the Cowboys in Jerry World, where they have not won in over 13 years. They actually haven't beaten the Cowboys in their past 6 matchups. Lions win this football game here in week 6, game of the week, 47-9, really controlling this football game from start to finish. Lions will now move to 4-1. Dallas Cowboys will fall to 3-3. Let's go through the scoring summary and take a look at this game in some detail. Dallas was actually able to get some things moving offensively in their first couple of drives. They open up this game with a decent drive, but it does stall out. They end up kicking a 34-yard Brandon Aubrey field goal, making this game 3-0 at the time. Lions then respond with what seems to be a common occurrence for them. David Montgomery hard on the ground here to open up these games. He caps their first drive off with a 16-yard run. Very impressive start. David Montgomery, of course, coming off that fresh 2-year contract, another $18+ million that will keep him with the Lions through the 2027 season. After a 5-play, 70-yard drive, they cap it with a David Montgomery touchdown, making it 7-3. Brian Branch, who was all over the field in this matchup, comes up with an interception. Lions drive down the field. That drive does stall after 12 plays, 58 yards. It ends in a Jake Bates 40-yard field goal, making the score 10-3 at that time in the second quarter. This is where that trick play came into play here for the Lions. The Sam Laporta on a 52-yard pass from Jared Goff on a double reverse. That was a 3-play, 63-yard drive at that time, making the score 17-3. Lions really opening it up. Defense then really started to pound it home against Dallas. The running game was non-existent. They really started to flex their muscles here. Lions end up coming out with another Jake Bates 48-yard field goal, making the score 20-3. David Montgomery, another 1-yard rushing touchdown. His day continuing to roll after a 6-play, 38-yard drive, making the score 27-3. Scoring ended after a Dallas decent kick return to end the second half, putting them in field goal position. Another Brandon Aubrey 47-yard field goal after 4 plays, only 1 yard on that drive. The half would end 27-6 in the Lions' favor. The second half opened up with that very unfortunate injury to Aidan Hutchinson, who was carted off the field, confirmed to be a broken tibia. Again, we'll get more word from Dan Campbell and the organization over the next couple days, and I will put out videos and content that will focus on how the Lions will come out of this devastating injury. Of course, that happens. The Lions are able to regroup rather quickly. They get things going again in the second half after a 5-play, 70-yard drive. This is the bomb pass to Jamison Williams, a 37-yard pass from Jared Goff, at this point making the score 34-6 in the Lions' favor. Again, after Dallas finally gets another drive going, 10 plays, 39 yards, it stalls out again. Brandon Aubrey hits a 50-yard field goal, at this point making it 34-9. Jake Bates, having a good day today in Dallas on the road, which is a good sign, hits a 33-yard field goal after a 6-play, 44-yard drive from the Lions, at that point making it 37-9. We then enter the fourth quarter. Things start to slow down just a little bit. Jake Bates, another field goal from 33 yards out after a 9-play, 57-yard drive, 40-9 at this point. The scoring ends on an Amon-Ra St. Brown 4-yard pass from Jared Goff. This was just 1 play, 4 yards after another turnover by Dallas. The scoring would end 47-9. Lions beat Dallas in Jerry World. Now let's buzz through the team stats. This is where it gets kind of incredible and truly shows the dominance of this Lion performance in Dallas here in Week 6. Just completely controlling this football game from start to finish. First downs, 27 for the Lions to 16 for Dallas. Total plays were even, 66-65. But here's where the discrepancy really comes into play. Total yards, Lions 492 to Dallas's 251. And really, that was aided by some garbage times yardage in the second half there. Yards per play, 7.5 for the Lions to Dallas's 3.9. The Lions offense was just so hot today, just continuing to roll, coming out of that bye week, even having the hot performance against Seattle on Monday Night Football. Well, that clearly has carried over now into Week 6 and hopefully beyond. Passing yards, of course, in Lions' favor, 308 to Dallas's 198. Rushing yards, again in the Lions' favor, 184 to Dallas, only at 53, and that is a true problem for that side for Dallas. They cannot get anything going on the run game. In the red zone, Lions 3 for 5, Dallas 0 for 3. They really stalled out several times, even when they got decent drives. Now, penalties is something to think about. Lions, again, heavily penalized in this game. 8 penalties for 63 yards. That seemed to pop up again, but no turnovers for the Lions compared to 5 turnovers for the Cowboys. 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles lost. It's really hard to win football games that way. When you can't run the football, you're turning the ball over, you can't maintain possession. That is a problem for Dallas. On the opposite end, the Lions were truly soaring. Yes, we have to worry about the Aidan Hutchinson injury, and we will talk about that in detail, but the Lions really controlled this football game, ending in our time of possession 34-43 to the Lions, 25-17, and again, it didn't even seem that close. And let's look at the box score, the individual stats, starting with the quarterbacks. On the Dallas side of things, Dak Prescott, 17 of 33, 178, and 2 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. The pressure was there even after Aidan Hutchinson going out. Lions still continue to put pressure all day on Dak Prescott, so much so that he was out of the game by 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, along with most of the other starters on both teams. On the other side, Jared Goff, another fantastic day, 18 of 25, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked twice. He did not get the consecutive completion record. Unfortunately, he had his first pass of the day actually was an incomplete pass to Jahmyr Gibbs, so that was over and gone very early in the game. But even so, with all that considered, Jared Goff still fantastic and seems to be continuing this momentum that he had built coming off that Monday Night Football performance. Looking at the rushing attack, and I think this is really where these two teams have the ultimate difference. I mean, the Lions' offensive line and rushing attack was so much more dominant compared to what Dallas was putting out there. On the Dallas side of things, really didn't get much going. Rico Dowdell, 5 rushes for 25 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, who all week have been talking about wanting to get more touches, well, they seem to make an effort to do so, but it only resulted in 17 yards on 8 touches. In total, 17 total carries for 53 yards for the Dallas Cowboys. For the Lions, a much different story. David Montgomery, fresh off the new contract. He was playing excellent ball even before the new contract. Well, obviously, he is now even more inspired. Him combined with Jahmyr Gibbs, another fantastic day. Both had 12 touches apiece. David Montgomery with 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs had 63 yards. In total, the team 36 touches, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Just a fantastic day rushing the football. Receiving, again, Lions are just so diverse. They can hit you in so many different ways, and that was that was shown in droves here in this game against Dallas. Jamison Williams, another big day, 3 receptions, 76 yards, had the big bomb touchdown. Yes, he did have the drop, but the Lions showed faith in him by going right back, ends up getting the reception and continuing that particular drive. Khalif Raymond had a big day here. He has been sort of quiet in the offensive side of things, but sort of to come around today here with 4 receptions for 73 yards. Tim Patrick, who I thought was really good today and is really becoming a part of this offense, had the big catch in their opening drive to get things going and keep that drive alive. He had 3 catches for 68 yards. Sam Laporta, only the 1 reception, but it was huge, 52 yards in the score. And of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown, his 4 receptions, 37 yards, and capped this game with a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs also had 3 receptions for 28. Overall, the team, 19 receptions, 334 yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. For Dallas, CeeDee Lamb did get a little bit of his early on, but that certainly faded away towards the end of the first half and really did nothing in the second half. CeeDee Lamb ended this game with 7 receptions, 89 yards. Jalen Tolbert, full receptions for 43 yards. Rico Dowdell had 5 receptions for 30. Turpin, 4 for 24. Overall, 25 receptions, 224. No receiving TDs on the day. Defensively, there's really no need to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. They were not able to stop the Lions at all. On the Lions side of things, of course, again, we know what happened with Aidan Hutchinson. Before he went out, he did have another sack, which would bring him to 7.5 on the season. He also had 3 tackles that he was involved in, 1 solo. Opening things up on defense, though, I think the star was Brian Branch. He literally was all over the field. He had 6 tackles, 5 solo, had the 2 interceptions. I mean, was really dominant today and is really showing that the Lions have potentially the best safety duo in all the NFL. Kirby Joseph, another interception today as well. Those 2 are truly fantastic. Outside of those guys, I thought Aleem McNeil really came into his own today. I think he's been a little bit slow as far as true statistics. Yes, he's always involved in the run stuffing and has done a decent job up until this point. Well, today he had the 2 sacks and really looked dominant in his performance on top of the 4 tackles he had. I thought Jack Campbell was good. He had 7 tackles. Amik Robertson was good. He had to step in a lot in the slot, help out with CeeDee Lamb and those wide receivers, and they really shut them down for the majority of the game. I thought the linebackers were good. You had Malcolm Rodriguez involved, Trevor Nowaski, Enish Rakestraw got involved in this game. So I really think in all aspects, the Lions played a full football game. The other thing we want to touch on, of course, is the special teams. I thought Jake Bates was really good today. He went 4 for 4 in field goals. He had a long of 48. He made all 5 of his extra points. So that is on the up and up. You got to feel good about the Lions' special teams. And let's give out some game balls. Starting on the offense, I want to give one to David Montgomery. You know, we talked about coming off the contract and, you know, everything he's done for the Lions up in this point. He's really been the spark plug of this offense in general. When they need to get something going, when things tend to fall off, they turn to David Montgomery. Again, he seems to be second level this year. His strength, his speed, you know, his heart, everything is there. I mean, he's really carrying this team at certain points. So David Montgomery, again, will get a game ball from me. I thought Jared Goff as well was fantastic. Again, another game ball, just in control. You feel confident when the offensive line can project Jared Goff, and they are my 3rd game ball here offensively. I thought the offensive line in general was fantastic. Run game, really good. We've looked at the stats. We've talked about Jared Goff's protection. Everything seemed to work today. They had Frank Ragnow back, so everything continuity-wise was there. They were able to do a lot of special things and even work in those special plays off with the offensive line. So a lot of good things there. Defensively, I'll start with Aleem McNeil. Again, with the 2 sacks, he was really, again, something tough to deal with on the interior there for the Cowboys. So I thought he was really good. He certainly deserves a game ball. But my overall MVP for this game, my ultimate game ball will go to Brian Branch. I just think that he is separating himself from other safeties in this league. Dan Campbell talked about how he is just perfect for that safety position within this Lions defense because he has a little bit of freedom. He can be a ball hawk. He can move. Yes, there is some limitations and assignments to it, but he's really able to just be a playmaker, and he showed everything that he had today. So Brian Branch is my Week 6 Lions MVP. Focusing first on the game, there's rarely any Lions games where there is just not much negative to pull from. So I really had to look deep at this one. And I think there's just a couple things. I thought their kick return coverage was questionable. Dallas did some reverses, fake reverses that seemed to get their coverage confused. And they had the big return before the end of the first half, which did lead to points. So it's just something to think about. CeeDee Lamb, I thought, was still effective, although that was mainly early in the first half. He was able to get his, and it still seems to be a problem here for the Lions secondary as far as covering elite wide receivers. I also thought their last possession, that fourth down attempt that they had, I'm not sure why they didn't just send the field goal team out to take the long field goal. I mean, at that point, they didn't need more points. I understand that, but why run that weird fourth down play? Again, none of it truly mattered, but again, if you're just looking to ice the game down the road, you just want to be more certain about what you're doing there. Again, there really wasn't much to nitpick from, but those would be my few items. My overall thoughts, the big picture on this massive victory, Lions beating Dallas 47-9 here in week 6, is that I just can't get over the Aidan Hutchinson injury. It's a true stain on this, and I really am only looking at it from a fan's perspective. I don't think the Lions organization, the locker room, will treat it this way. It's always a next man up mentality, and I think that's how they'll move forward. Dan Campbell said a lot of those things in the immediate press conference coming out of this victory. But focusing on the game, I thought the Lions offense was truly fantastic, showing again that they are right back to their elite status. They were top 3 in the last 2 seasons. Well, now I think they come at you in so many different ways. Tom Brady in the broadcast said it several times over, whether it be the running game, the weapons they have in the wide receiver room, the tight end room, their dominant offensive line. They just have so many ways to attack you, and it is hard for defenses to deal with that. I'm excited to see what this offense has in store for the rest of the regular season. David Montgomery, just another fantastic performance coming off of his new contract, combined with Jahmyr Gibbs. They will now be with the organization through 2027, the best running back duo in football. Again, very exciting things, and I thought David Montgomery, again, was really, really good. Brian Branch, defensively, when the Aidan Hutchinson injury happened, a lot of the team could have gone into a lull. Defensively, they could have put everything on halt, started to play tentatively. Well, I thought a guy like Brian Branch really picked it up. He had 2 interceptions, had the forced fumble, just did so many things and was all over the field. Dan Campbell has said that he's perfect in that safety position here for the Lions, and he truly showed it today in this victory in Dallas. But I think the big picture thing is offensively. They've now scored 40 points in back-to-back games. It's the first time they've done that since 1962, and believe it or not, this is the second most points they have ever scored on the road in team history. Very incredible. So again, the Lions come out victorious, a massive victory in Dallas against the Cowboys, 47-9 in an offensive explosion. Lions come out with a very serious injury to Aidan Hutchinson that they're going to have to worry about, but they now leave this game at 4-1, looking very confident as they head into the rest of the regular season. Dallas Cowboys will now fall to 3-3. Thank you guys for coming along for another game reaction. Again, Lions victorious in Dallas 47-9. Make sure to hit that like button if you dig the vibe here at Johnny Gas Sports. I'd love it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. We're now over 2,000 subscribers thanks to you guys. And if you hit the notify bell, you won't miss any future videos. If you hit the join button on any one of my videos, I'll walk you through on how you become a member and a part of the family. Again, thank you guys so much for the time, but more than anything, make sure to take care of yourself and your mental health. That is more important than anything, and I want to make sure you come back and see me on future videos. Thank you guys again. Hope you have a fantastic week ahead. Go Lions.